Hey everyone, I am so excited. Today we're gonna unbox this huge haul from Penzeys Spices. So I just got this huge shipment from Penzeys. It is my favorite spice shop. There's one pretty close to me, but I believe it's closed because of COVID, which is fine because we probably don't want to be going around sniffing spices in person. So I put in a big order with them a couple weeks ago and it finally came. I was running out of a lot of my real basic spices and herbs, and I decided that it was about time to get a new shipment before the new year. So let's open this thing. Ooh, we got a little freebie. This is so fun. This is sandwich sprinkle. And it looks like sprinkle this on sandwiches and croutons, and that looks fun. Can't wait to try that out. I've never tried that one before. All right, so let's see, what else do we have in here? Let's move this aside. We got another little freebie, this little patch. It looks like cooking is what happens when you care about people. Aw. We also got a couple little pins here for free. Wow, we got a lot of freebies in this little package. A little V for victory pin. That's cute. 2 of those. Now we're going to get into the spices. I figured I'll go through these spices and kind of tell you why I bought them, why they're basics in my cabinet, and what I use them for. So the first thing we got is crushed red pepper. This is something I use constantly to add a little spice. Obviously, this is great for Italian dishes, for spaghetti sauce, for any pasta dishes. We sprinkle this on. And it is my go-to spice for spicing it up. And we were basically out. So that we got to restock. It's very exciting. The next thing we have is some dried basil. So I really like having this, again, kind of in a lot of the same dishes I might use the crushed red pepper, definitely in my spaghetti sauce, in my meatballs, in eggplant parmesan. This is also great mixed with some of the other spices in a dressing. I like to kind of make like, I don't know if it's a faux ranch, it's like my ranch dressing, and this would be one of the spices that goes into it. Also, I tend to buy the spices I know that I use a lot in these big bags because they're a lot cheaper that way. And then I just put them into little spice containers and then keep the bags back in the closet, in the pantry, and then just refill them as they empty. And it's just much more economical to do it that way. I got a huge bag of peppercorns, and obviously pepper, you use that everywhere. Funny thing is, my pepper grinder broke during COVID times, and for a while we didn't really have a pepper grinder, but I realized that I can just use my mortar and pestle, and I use that just to grind pepper fresh, and it's kind of fun to use. This also, I will throw like a handful of, like, not a handful, but you know, a good pinch of these in like a stock if I'm making Instant Pot stock, which I have a video on that, so I'll put a link up there. This is a big box of stuff. I bought ancho chili powder. This is probably one of my favorite chili powders. It's just a little bit spicy. It's very smoky. I like to use this in my chili or in enchilada sauce or any sort of Tex-Mex or Mexican style dishes. I'll use this, and I was definitely totally out of. And the one thing I'm noting actually is like my old ancho chili powder was getting pretty dark. And I think that must be a sign of age because this is looking very brick red and very bright. So I guess that tells me that my ancho chili powder should have been replaced a while ago. The next thing we have in here is granulated garlic. And I love, love, love this. I mean, obviously I use fresh garlic a ton, but I love granulated garlic for things where I might want raw garlic, but I don't want a completely strong fresh garlic flavor. When you don't cook fresh garlic, it is just so sharp and so strong. And the granulated garlic kind of has a much more rounded flavor of garlic. So I would use this in a lot of like dressings, especially like a ranch dressing or creamy dressing. And also I would use this in a lot of dry rubs. So I do a lot of dry rubs for meat before I cook them. And this would be something I'd put in a lot of dry rubs. This goes in a barbecue rub and that sort of thing. We got oregano on this. It would pair with basil, right? And all those same dishes, I would use basil, I would use oregano. To me, those are like peanut butter and jelly. They go hand in hand together. If I'm going to make a pizza sauce, I'll probably go a little heavier on the oregano because I feel like pizza sauce really needs oregano, that big, bold oregano flavor. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. So this is taco seasoning. We do a lot of tacos here. And I just love that old gringo taco. I mean, I like a carnitas taco or a al pastor taco or fish tacos, but sometimes you just can't beat that crunchy shell with the ground meat. And this comes in handy for that. Just having this around, not having to worry about buying like a package or mixing my own. This is super delicious and I love it. Let's see, cumin. So we do a lot of chili style things or a lot of Tex-Mex or Southwest style things. If I'm going to build a spice rub, especially a barbecue rub or an enchilada sauce, cumin's going in there. I use this a ton. I probably can't even tell you every time I reach for this. So having a big giant pack of this is definitely necessary. I was definitely buying some cheaper cumins at the store until I got around to getting a big Penzeys run. So now I can start using really the good stuff. All right, this is one of my favorite. I mean, all of these are my favorite. I know I keep saying that, but recently I would say I've been really super into the smoked sweet paprika. That just has such a smoky but sweet flavor. It is awesome in stews, and I will put this in my chili too. I do a lot of different chili powders when I'm making chili, and this is definitely one of them. I've just been finding myself just reaching for this a lot and throwing it into soups and in stews and sauces and that sort of thing. It smells so great. Let's see. Got a few other things now. I got a few items in here that I didn't do this strategy where I bought the huge pack. The things that I know I'm not going to use as quickly, but I don't want them to go bad. So the first one is this white pepper, and I bought this because I've been looking at a lot more Chinese recipes lately. I've been very much into Asian cooking across the board, and I noticed that in a lot of Chinese recipes, they call for white pepper. So I bought some to have it. I didn't have any. I also think that this would come in really handy with having a white sauce, because it won't make the sauce look like it's got little specks of dirt in it, which really doesn't bother me. But now that I have this, I can use it. It smells so nice. And then I actually accidentally bought this in the little jar when I meant to get one of these. So I might have to do a reorder for maybe a couple more things. And this is chili powder. Again, this is very specifically needed for chili. We eat a lot of chili or chili mac. We just play around a lot with chili style things. I would also put this in my barbecue rubs, or if I'm gonna rub, like I have a fish taco recipe where I basically rub chili powder and cumin and garlic powder on it and just stuff that in the oven. I'll link that recipe below, but I will use that often just to sort of like very quickly rub some meat to cook it on chicken and that sort of thing. And I think there is one more thing. All right, so this is very necessary. We are getting into holiday baking season right now. So I got this really large thing of vanilla extract. So I can't wait to get into my Christmas baking. And this year I decided that I was going to try a new method. Normally I make a ton of cookies and make them all at once over maybe a couple of days. And then they're kind of hanging out for a couple weeks while we give them away to various people. And by the end, I'm so worried that the cookies are going to be stale. So this year, I think I'm going to make a bunch of cookie doughs, put them in the fridge, and then cook them, bake them fresh, so that as I'm making packages for people, I will bake up cookies and then you'll get the freshest possible cookies. So we'll see how that goes. I'll let you know. So that's it. That is my Penzeys Spice haul. Like I said, Penzeys is my favorite place to get spices. I think they're very high quality and not that expensive, which is very surprising because really good quality spices can be very expensive. Again, if you buy them in these large packs, they are much more economical and you can easily reuse spice jars or buy empty spice jars pretty inexpensively on Amazon. And then you'll have really awesome spices for all your needs. You can have some fun blending them together to create your own spice rubs based on whatever you like. The other thing I use spices and herbs for a whole lot is dressing. I mix my own dressings almost exclusively. It's super rare that I would buy a dressing off a store shelf. It's just so easy to mix a small amount of vinaigrette for whatever your flavor profile that you might want for a salad. And then when you have all these awesome spices, you can kind of create your own fun vinaigrette. So like if I was having a taco salad or like a chicken Southwest salad, I could just use some cumin and some chili powder and some garlic powder and a little lime juice and oil, and then I would really quickly have this awesome vinaigrette, and I wouldn't have to go buy like 1,000 different dressings at the store that will just sit in your refrigerator. I usually just do like maybe a small mason jar for Sean and I, and that's perfect for having salads for a few days. So definitely worth expanding your horizon on spices and building out your pantry of spices so that you can just be very creative in the kitchen. So I hoped you liked this unboxing video. It was a little bit of a different video, but I thought it would be fun, especially since this big box just showed up this week. I have an awesome video in mind for next week, which I wanted to do this week, but I was a little bit under the weather at the beginning of the week and I just couldn't get my act together to get that video ready. So that's going to be next week, and it's going to be a little bit of a recipe experiment, something I saw online and I want to know if it works, and it's going to be sweet. And I think that you guys all like videos where I'm making sweet stuff. So so next week we're gonna do that video. But let me know if you like this one, if you thought it was boring, how I could do it differently to make it more interesting. I'm super open to hearing how I can continue to make better videos. With that said, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe and that bell button to be alerted when I launch a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Now go have some fun in the kitchen.